Hello and welcome again to this edition of FiTV. We are coming to you just a few blocks from Florida's capital at the FSU Turnbull Center. We are here at JMI, James Madison Institute's annual meeting, and I am joined by Bob McClure, President, and Speaker Bense. Speaker Bense, thank you guys for joining us.
Glad to be here.
All right, okay, so before we begin, let's give our viewers a little history. Tell us about JMI. What's your mission? What do you do?
The James Madison Institute is Florida's oldest and largest free market think tank. And what does that mean to a lot of people? It means we're in the ideas business. And so we advance good public policy working with elected officials at the local, state, and national level that do things that promote free enterprise. So lower taxes, school choice and accountability, property rights, and
free
those
markets,
kinds of, everything related to free markets. But it's all economically based. So
that's why our deregulated markets, we love JMI because you guys are out there putting the proof to the argument. So we appreciate that. Okay, so so we're here for the annual JMI dinner. Tell us who's going to come to this. What's the purpose of this dinner?
You know, we started this dinner about 6 or 7 years ago, and it's an opportunity to bring friends of JMI from all across the state and in some cases all across the country to come together for one night to celebrate kind of our successes, not only for the year, but for the 30-year history of the organization, and then also to come together just as good friends and celebrate the night.
Speaker Bense, you're chairing the organization. What are some of your, why do you like this dinner? Is it the convening of the people? Is it the ideas that get shared? What's your favorite part?
Well, the folks that come here tonight are they're true believers, as my partner used to say, and they believe in economic freedom. One of my good friends says about government, let's just have less of it. Right. And it's a great time to exchange ideas and how we can preserve our property rights, how we can encourage young people to be entrepreneurs, how we can promote economic freedom. So it's a great time for all of us to get together.
Well, Speaker, your pedigree in fighting for free enterprise and promoting ideas like this is well known in the circles that pay attention to this, the business circles, the philosophical circles of freedom. As we look at JMI, what aspects of what they're doing are you most proud of, both of you?
Bob?
Well, first and foremost, I'm proud of the voice we've had over our 30-year history. I mean, we have represented stability and longevity and principles. We're not for sale. We don't do contract research. We're focused on the principles of the free market.
And you've been there through the transition from Democratic leadership to Republican leadership, and arguably that would be a closer alignment of philosophies.
That's exactly
of our elected leadership.
Yeah, and we're nonpartisan. We don't focus on party or personalities. We focus on policies and principles, and that's been what I'm most proud of. That regardless of party, regardless of who's in power, they come to us for help on policy ideas.
Well, Speaker,
we don't lobby. I mean, we don't lobby.
Right.
We just, when I was in the legislature, sometimes you get presented one set of facts, especially from liberal newspapers and liberal outlets, and members were beginning to believe it.
Yeah.
JMI came and said, this is the other side of the story. And, oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So it made it easier as a leader in the Florida House to pass good public policy that dealt with economic freedom.
So let's talk a little bit about the next generation of conservative leaders in the state. What do you hope JMI, and you, Speaker, what do you hope JMI tells or shares with that next generation? What do you hope they hear from JMI going forward?
Well, first of all, establish your principles and stick to them. My principles happen to be promoting economic freedom, prosperity, preserving property rights, things that JMI stands for. I would advise future leaders to stay on your principles. Keep your compass pointed north, because there are many opportunities for you to get that compass going the wrong way. Right. Stick to them, listen to things that JMI says, read our publications, but just stick to your principles.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Speaker. Okay, so Bob, anything to add to that?
Yeah, one of JMI's major elements of outreach is we reach the next generation. We have taught civics, founding principles, economic principles to high school kids. And for the last 10 years, we just reached our 1 millionth high school kid in the state of Florida.
Yeah,
you think about how that matriculates through. Not only that, on college campuses, we have students who are employed by JMI who do a year-long program on 10 Florida college campuses.
We see a lot of them walking around here
exactly.
right now. Right.
And it's just simple things. Why does free speech matter? What is economic freedom? Those kinds of things. What is free enterprise? It's basic kind of civics, constitutional aspects that most college kids don't fully understand. And we will have reached 50,000 kids. We just started this program about 4 years ago. We reach more than 10,000 kids a year on those kinds of things.
We're going to look forward to hearing, as an attendee, more about that at the dinner and more from JMI going forward. Speaker Bense, Bob McClure, thank you very much. But before we go, I've got a really important question, and this is the most important question for Florida Internet and Television. When you're not fighting for the free world and fighting for economically sound principles and things like that, what do you guys like to watch on your internet or your television? Take your mind off everything.
Well, in all honesty, my wife and I streamed The Crown. We binge watched that, watched the whole thing.
Good.
So we finished season 2, and Blue Bloods, of course, is right up there for any good conservative. But you can put me in a dove field or a duck blind, and I'll be much happier.
Okay, well, we can still get you the internet out there so you can watch whatever
of course,
you need out there. Speaker Bense, how about you?
Well, I read as little as I can. It's terrible. But I love Westerns on television. I know it sounds corny. But, and I say I don't read. I love to read about the history of the United States of America, George Washington, how this country was founded, the sacrifices that our founders made. It amazes me sometimes how we ever got to where we are. We were fighting such huge odds to make this country independent. And George Washington was the most humble person in my life as a politician. If I could have been one half as humble and shown the humility that he showed, I would be very happy.
Well, Speaker Bense, if you allow me the privilege, I would say that under your leadership, we saw that demonstrated time and time again, so thanks for your service.
And I'll add one more point. He's being celebrated tonight as the outgoing chair after 7 years, so it's going to be a terrific evening all the way around.
It'll be fun.
Well, thank you both for your service to Florida and to what's right and on the good path for our future. So thanks so much for everything you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for today's episode of FiTV. Tune into our Facebook page or our Twitter feed at FLInternetTV. Thanks for tuning in.